Well, good morning, everyone. It is, what is today? Monday, March 10th. It is a beautiful day here in California, in Los Angeles specifically. Let's see, we're getting people piled in here. How is everyone doing today? Send me a note in the chat, whatever platform you are on, and let me know where you're located. And as usual, there is a lot going on in the world today. Not the least of which are some of the comments that President Trump came out with yesterday. Very interesting stuff. Let's see here. Let me click this on. There we go. Live. All right. I think we're being seen on all platforms. If you can see me on any of the platforms that we're on, send me a message. Let me know that you're there. Also, let me know where you're located so I can say hello. We're getting a bunch of people piled in here. As I said, it is Monday, March 10th. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Did anybody do anything super exciting? Would love to hear about it. Let's see, we have, oh, wait a minute. I think hold on here. There we go. We got Alex. I think we have Alex. Well, good morning, sir.
Morning, dude.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm happier than a hummingbird in a peach orchard.
Oh, isn't that nice? Good for you.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I got a scalding message from Captain Graybeard on TikTok saying, "We are waiting. Where are you?" So
everybody got used to that 10 a.m. time slot, and we changed it up.
Well, it just depends on the day. Hey, Susie Kabluzzi's here. Hey, Susie, welcome. Hope all's well. Going Pro Someday is in Oklahoma. Full-Blooded Patriot is here. Good morning, Full-Blooded Patriot. So Franny Dragonfly's here. Good morning, Franny. So anything major going on with you this morning, Alex? Nope. How was your weekend?
It was good. Got some nice weather. Got all the fruit trees in the orchard pruned and hopefully ready to start spitting out some good fruit this year.
Wow. Well, if you need a place to send it to, you can always send a care package to Los Angeles, California, care of Sam Shalhoub.
Well, if you need to take a road trip, we're open.
I'm telling you, I just may be doing that. It's funny. I've been. I think Dave's here. Morning, Dave.
Hi guys, how we
doing? Good morning. Yeah, we're doing well. It's funny, Alex. Back in 2005, I came home from work one day, and my ex-wife said, "I want to sell our home, buy a motorhome, and travel the United States." And I said, "What?" And it's serious when you walk in the house from work and she says, "We need to sit down at the kitchen table." So she hits me with that. And at that point, my kids were 9, 7, and 3. And I said, "Really? You want to go on?" She wanted to sell the house, buy a motorhome, and travel the United States. So I loved her. We did it. We sold the house, put everything in storage. I bought a 38-foot diesel pusher motorhome. I bought an Acura to tow behind it. And we were on the road for 6 months, almost 6 months. We traveled all over the U.S. I would have never done it on my own, but I did with her. I did it, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. So subsequently today, or present day, I'm actually considering doing something similar to that. I've been looking at motorhomes, fifth wheels, because I can do the show anywhere on the road. And there's so many people across the country that I'd love to come and spend some time with. And you guys are two of them, that's for sure. And if I had my own place, rolling home, it would be a blast.
The Sam Shalhoub Mobile Road Show.
Yeah. Exactly.
It has a ring to it, brother.
It kind of does, right? Hold on.
Live from Washington, D.C.
Exactly. Or what's left of it.
Lots of empty space to rent. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get some house cleaned up here. We have, as I said, Susie Kabluzzi's here. George Loftus 247 is here. Hey, George. Franny Dragonfly, thank you for the heart me's. Franny Dragonfly. Oh, she just contributed big to our daily goal of donuts. Thank you so much, Franny. Diana said Twitter is presently under cyber attack. That's something you mentioned earlier, Dave, before we came on live backstage. Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
Share Baby 29, one of our subscribers is here. Hi, Share Baby. Pat, what's that?
According to Down Detector, X, Microsoft, AWS, Spectrum, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Office 365, Xfinity, Costco,
holy
Reddit,
smokes, really?
and AI, are all experiencing some sort of disruption.
Black Monday, is that what we're looking at?
I mean, there's a bit of a spike happening. I mean, we're talking out of Twitter, there's 30,000 reports. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
I'm not real concerned, but Microsoft Outlook has got a pretty significant spike. AWS, Medium. So I don't know if it's full-scale cyber attack, but I know that they did say X was having some issues.
Wow. Yeah, Dave texted me.
X. Yeah.
What's that, Dave?
X isn't working. X isn't working on my end.
Interesting.
On Iowa here.
So Franny Dragonfly said, Sam, we've been full-time RV for 6 years. Wow, Franny, I'd love to hear more about that. Susie Kabloozy, one of our subscribers, said, Sam Shalhoub, traveling daily dispatch. I like the way that sounds, Susie. Good morning, Dark Horse. Good morning, Captain Graybeard. I hope you got my message. I got your scalding message earlier, and I'm back here, and we are live. We're glad you're here. Terry Dyke said X isn't working where she is either. I wonder where that is. It sounds like it's pretty rampant.
Actually, when we started this live, I was able to pull you up, and while we were talking, X just went down for me.
Oh, wow. I wonder what's going on there. All right, everybody on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. If you can contribute to our daily goal of donuts today, we're going big, we're going donuts. That would be wonderful. Thank you, Franny Dragonfly. And if you are not aware, we have subscriptions to the platform now. We have some new guests that are coming on with us over the next several weeks. If you're part of the Insider Club with the subscribers, you're going to have first access, and I think it's going to be significant. So if you have the ability, go ahead and choose the upper level subscription. You can come on screen with us once you've been vetted. That would be wonderful. Lord Bullion just sent a donut. Thank you. Susie Kabloozy just sent 16 donuts. Oh my God. Thank you, Susie. You're so sweet. So if you're on X, YouTube, Rumble, YouTube, Rumble, or Facebook, send us a message in the chat and give us the thumbs up or the positive affirmation button. So Dave, how was your weekend?
Oh, good. Busy. We're moving grain and all that stuff. So getting organized. Set up for that yesterday, and Alex was in today watching me load some soybeans.
Wow. Alex was in?
I was.
Where?
Yeah.
Do you guys live that close?
No. On his live.
Oh, I was going to say, wow. How come I didn't get invited?
I mean, but if he does have a CDL, we find another truck for him to haul some soybeans down to the river. It would be great.
Yeah. No.
CDL's gone.
He's not going for it. Okay. So
not for hire.
So, okay, we've got Terry Dyke said that X is down in Arkansas. Interesting. Boy, Patty Pashy 777 said, travel the country. I've done it before, and I'm liable to do it again, this time maybe solo. Lisa Pritchard, 509. Good morning from Tennessee. Good morning, Lisa. Lord Bullion sent a donut. Thank you, Lord Bullion. Tripoo sent a rose. Thank you. Tripoo sent a bunch of corn. Thank you, Tripoo. I think I'm pronouncing that. Oh, Trishy Poo. I'm sorry, Trish. Thank you for sending the corn. So, hey, we've got Sean over on, what is he on? Facebook. Hey, Sean, give me a call later. Let's get caught up. We haven't spoken in a while. Love to talk to you. So, Blondie said X is working in Colorado. Our Jeff coach has sent a donut. You guys are on fire today. Thank you so much. So, Well, let's dig into it, you guys. First thing up this morning, Google. It doesn't look like the feds are going to make them sell their AI investments, but still seeking the sale of their Chrome browser. I thought that Google would have been broken up quite some time ago. I mean, it's very clearly, in my opinion, a monopoly. What do you guys think? Alex?
I want to know who's going to buy their offshore ship operation.
Oh, interesting.
Captain Graybeard. Perhaps Captain Graybeard, maybe.
I set that one up. I was waiting, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, don't you guys think at this point something should have happened with that already? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think Doge should audit them. I want to know where all that money comes from and goes.
Yep. And who started it? Can we say DARPA? Maybe. LifeLog, Facebook, I don't know. Dave, what do you think?
Well, Alex is the expert in that, but it's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
On what directions it may not be done yet. Maybe just the first initial steps on that.
Exactly. So, all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The mysterious Space Force ship that was in orbit for 434 days. Now, as we all know, the Space Force took over all the intelligence satellites as of about 2 years ago. They control them all now. And to have this ship up during 2020, 2022, and 2024, I think it was a massive information gathering operation, at least part of it. And the question is, when are they going to roll it out? That's what I'm wondering. What do you guys think?
They're not telling us what it was doing.
Right.
And another thing to think about, why did they even tell us about it? Has to be a reason on that, right? Otherwise, why, if it's secret, keep it secret.
Right.
You know?
I think it was kind of somewhat of a head nod to the Anons, because we all follow this so closely. We all know that it's been up for a long time, and it has run several missions. Now, do we connect that somehow with all of the chatter with Boeing aircraft? Can those be connected somehow? I'm just wondering. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
Yeah. Interesting thought.
Yeah, because it's not by chance, in my opinion, that Boeing has been highlighted now for, 2 years at least? There has got to be something more going on there, in my opinion.
Yep. Someone posted stock market down again. Pull up the charts. Take a look at a year-long chart or a 5-year chart. I think we're just seeing normal fluctuations in the market.
How much is it down this morning?
Let's see. Looks like S&P is down 122. Dow is down 480, which is 1%, and NASDAQ is down 636.
Wow, 636. Well, I heard that, what was it? NVIDIA lost $1 trillion in market cap on Friday, I think it was. I mean, again, how you can let's put hypothecation of the stock market over to the side, but how does a company increase in value by $1 trillion when their profits clearly do not indicate that? I mean,
so they just released their 5090 series, their 5000 series graphics cards, which I don't know if either one of you are in the market for purchasing graphics cards, but even the 570, which is a low end model, is $1,000.
Wow.
You're going to spend $2,500 on a higher end 5090. Some of those cards are $3,000, but the reason that the price has been driven up so high is because everybody's buying up cards to mine crypto. What used to be a $300-$400 graphics card, which back then was expensive,
right,
just in the last 4 to 5 years, now you're spending thousands of dollars on a graphics card. So I don't understand the whole structure of NVIDIA and why they're showing losses and all of these things, because I know around here there are literally connexes sitting on the ground next to windmills that are generating an exorbitant amount of energy consumption because they're full of graphics cards mining crypto.
Right, right. Well, I mean, and all of the nuclear power plants, when they have don't, they're not at peak operation. What happens? They're putting crypto farms next to them, which makes sense, right? With solar and windmill, you can't really harness and hold that energy. To the best of my understanding, it has to be done whenever those peak times hit. And with crypto mining, you can shut them down at any point in a very short amount of time, as opposed to a grid. Go ahead, Dave.
I looked at Bitcoin. It's still it's at 80,000 today. That was shocking to me when I flipped on that.
There is a correction happening right now in the crypto market. But again, long-term strategy, buy the dip.
Yeah, of course. Sean over on Facebook said it's all smoke and mirrors. I agree, Sean. I think primarily it's based on psychology, what people think is valuable versus what is actually valuable. And it used to be based on profits and losses, net profits, gross profits. Today, with the hypothecation of the stock market, which I think we're going to see a major correction in the stock market. That's just my opinion. This is not financial advice, but I don't see it happening any other way, especially with the monetary system being upside down. But again, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Our Jeff Coat just sent a donut. Lord Bullion just sent a donut. Thank you so much, you guys. Trishy Poo, I got it right that time, Trish, sent a couple of tiny dinies. She also sent some heart meats. Elena Moreno sent some roses. Trishy Poo, another donut. Gosh, you guys are doing fantastic. Global Descent said, good morning, MAGA family. Well, good morning, Global Descent. Glad you're here. So, as I said, we've got this secret spaceship. We've got, did you guys hear about the protests in France over the weekend? So you have these women topless with painted bodies giving the, salute. And I couldn't understand what they were saying, and I didn't see any type of a translation. Do you guys know what they were saying or shouting?
I think it was in protest to pretty much the same type of situation that's happening in multiple governments. They're not happy about transparency. They're not happy about, but I could be wrong. I'm not exactly sure. But watching normal television in Europe, there's topless people on commercials. So it's really not that big a deal that there's somebody topless in downtown.
Yeah, you're probably right. They're a little more liberal than we are around here. But it didn't look organic to me. It looked staged. I don't know why. It
probably just paid actors.
I was getting there, but I wasn't sure whether or not anybody would swallow that pill at this point. But yeah, I think
circulating right now of a guy standing out in front of I forget which building it was, holding a Doge sign. He's protesting Doge, and the guy walks up and he's like, man, you must be getting paid good to stand out here. And he goes, yeah, I'm getting paid.
Wow. He came right out on camera?
I don't think he knew he was on camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hubbard said, I heard they were protesting the fight in Ukraine. They didn't want to be part of it. There was some. I don't know if it was the ladies, it was the women doing it, but I heard some of that also. Yeah,
no, I think you're right. Oh, is my mirror thing on, you guys? Is that what's going on here? Oh, yeah. Hold on. All right. There we go. Somebody in the chat, Sarge, said the American flag is backwards. That should be better now, Sarge, I think. Sorry about that. Old School Smooth is here. Hey, Old School. Glad you could make it.
Tens of thousands of people took to the streets in France on Saturday to mark International Women's Day, while feminine activists in Paris marched with the U.S. and Russia flag painted across their naked chests, along with that symbol.
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower was lit up with a message of solidarity for Afghan women living under repression and Taliban regime.
Oh, interesting.
So, I really am not super aware of what it is exactly that they're protesting.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either.
This took aim at U.S. President Trump. They marched topless. Yeah, that was they were protesting Trump in France.
Oh, okay. Gee, what a surprise. Well, it is kind of a surprise.
Lots of Ukraine flags flying at that march. I'm seeing photos here. So
yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting too, because there has been so much support for President Trump around the world, India, Germany, for the French, who, we give up for them to come out and speak out against him. Doesn't really surprise me. And with Macron and his wife, I think that that's being highlighted for a reason. And maybe that's part of the reason that protest took place, to draw some eyes over to France. Now,
I think people would be remiss if they didn't think that the same thing that's happening here is not happening everywhere with paid protesters to go out and sow the message that they want pushed. I mean, look at the particular group that was wearing tan pants and all marching in unison that has conveniently disappeared since Trump got in office.
Right. I think there is much more to be said about paid actors and crisis actors than most people believe. Look at what happened during 2020. Body bags and then people zipping themselves out of body bags. I don't think it's a far stretch to say that some of these things, if not the majority of these things we're seeing, are specifically created for a specific purpose.
Well, speaking from personal experience in Kansas City, the police were having to hire trucks to come in and pick up pallets of bricks that were being dropped off at different locations. Somebody had to buy those bricks. Somebody had to buy them. Somebody had to deploy them. That's not fairy tale. That's not misinformation. That should really happen, folks.
Right.
Somebody's buying those bricks. Who? I think time will tell. It's probably an NGO somewhere, though.
Well, I think in 2020, that was exactly what was happening. Today, I think it might be a little different. I think today, those Antifa and BLM protesters were targeted, were located, tracked, and in my opinion, the deep state has lost a lot of its juice. That's not to say that they don't have juice left, but just my opinion.
Well, I think they have juice left, but they've just changed. It's the same group of people. They've just changed their clothes. So it was one protest, and then they went home and changed clothes and reported to another protest, and then got a new cause and went home and changed clothes and reported to that protest.
Exactly. With the same checks coming from the same places. Old School Smooth said, I think the awakening is seeing all of the actors and staging by our government. Well, I think our government has, I should say, very specific portions of our government are doing things that most people would be shocked by. But I think the Patriots are gaining more and more territory and more power as we move forward. And I think we're seeing that with the exposure of USAID. We're seeing it with the exposure of the Social Security scam that's been going on. So it's all building up to a crescendo or multiple crescendos over a period of time. At least that's my opinion. So, everybody on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out if you would. We'd appreciate it. If you can contribute to our daily donut goal, that would be wonderful. And keep in mind, we do have subscriptions now on the channel. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun things with people on TikTok that are part of our subscriber base. And as I said, we're going to have some new guests on with us in the very near future. You don't want to miss that. If you're on X, YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up or the positive affirmation button. That would be wonderful. And you can also send us a message on those other platforms. Thank you, Susie, for the rose. So, Sarge, let's see. There was a question here that I think I missed. Amy said, yep, Alex is right. Well, Alex is typically right, so it doesn't surprise me that he was right. Susie just said, wow, a whole bunch of donuts. Thank you. Angela Taylor just sent a whole bunch of donuts. Thank you so much. So, oh, wow, we already hit our live goal, you guys. Everybody, you are wonderful. Thank you. Well, we're just getting started, so I guess we're going to have to reset it again.
I haven't even had breakfast, and Sam's already fattened up.
Hey, now. Come on. I'm in pretty good shape for an old guy.
was talking about all the donuts, Sam. Don't take it personally.
All right. All right. So we reset our goal. Let's see if we can hit it a second time. We did it. We broke records the last slide. We had like 2.5 goals or something like that. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much.
So Canada, Mark Carney stepping in to the new role.
Here's my personal opinion. I think that we are going to see the new PM align, the new PM in Canada, the new leadership in Germany are both going to align with President Trump. What do you guys think?
I'm a little okay. I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, Mark Carney's a former central banker, Sam.
Yeah, but look at Jamie Dimon. I mean, he's done the flip flop.
I'm optimistically cautious about him too,
Right.
buddy.
I know.
But I think re-election is in October. Then, if right, he's back up for election in October. He was just in place until then.
Oh, is that what it is?
Correct?
I'm not quite sure.
I believe I heard something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, Holly's here. She said, good morning to all of us. Good morning, Holly. Glad you could make it. Franny Dragonfly just sent a whole bunch of, I don't know what that is. Maybe friendship bracelets? Franny, you are the best. Thank you so much. And she also sent some donuts. Wonderful. Thank you, Franny. Old School Smooth had a good question. He said, China tariffs of 100%, no uproar. What's up with that? Well, again, I think we're going to see capitulation of countries all around the world. The fact that we're highlighting that it's been an unfair trade balance between the United States and many other countries, I think plays into part of that. What do you guys think?
Again, cautiously optimistic because there still seems to be a bit of a war drum banging in the oceans right now with China and what they're doing and where they're moving, and so
But in the same sense, they went against Canada, so that makes you tilt your head the other way a little bit too. I believe, right?
I mean,
if we're hearing what we're hearing about Canada and the real property there being in bankruptcy and the Crown no longer having control over it, I think that makes much more sense. Now, I'm hoping we're going to have that gentleman on. He comes back from vacation on the 12th, and he was bringing the receipts. I'm hoping we're going to get him on sometime this week. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but if he does come on, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And as we move forward in the global stage with tariffs, with the possible abolishment of income tax in the Federal Reserve, which I think has already happened, but I think we're going to be seeing some monumental moves across the board from the majority of the major countries.
Well, again, why are there Chinese warships off the coasts of Australia, Vietnam, Taiwan? I mean, Taiwan, no surprise, but Australia and these naval exercises were not announced ahead of time. Like, I mean, it goes back to that scared dog scenario. Who's in whose pocket?
I agree. And we remember over the last year, how many times have we heard that there are Chinese warships surrounding Taiwan? There are Chinese aircraft surrounding Taiwan. If Taiwan was unable to export computer chips at this point in time, we would all be in a world of hurt. Now, is that part of the reason why President Trump is pushing for so many fabs to be built in America? Sure. Not just computer chips, but pharmaceuticals. Pushing our farmers like Dave, giving them the tools that they need to increase production. We have to be self-sufficient, in my opinion. And I think we're moving towards that in most areas. Any examples you guys want to highlight?
It's a great example, Sam. It's a great example.
Yep. Excited for April 2nd. We'll know more by then, the way it sounds. But when Trump tells the farmers to have fun, we're like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
You know,
what
we're still in the gray.
what do you
We
think?
always have fun, but
What do you think about that, Dave? Give some more insight. You're a farmer, and tell everybody what you do, Dave.
Corn and soybeans here in eastern Iowa.
Mhm.
I believe his plan, and Trump's going to take care of us. Everybody's worried about RFK taking away Roundup, and I said, well, everything has to be looked at. Everything has to go through. They're not going to pull the rugs out from underneath us. I believe what Trump's plan is to shut off the used cooking oil going into California to get refined. I believe Trump's plan is to have jet fuel up and running as fast as they can to used out of ethanol base, I believe it is. It's going to be turned more towards internal, just like everything else he's doing.
Well, and
in
I
the
think
United States.
and I think that's part of this. You know, people are. How many days are we at now? 40 some odd days with President Trump, and people are getting their panties in a bunch. Well, the reality is it takes time, and I think President Trump is taking logical, critical thinking steps to move America into a position of power. And that doesn't happen overnight. And I think a lot of this has been
Right.
planned for a long time, and it's just rolling out to the public in a way that they can assimilate it. Captain Graybeard just said, go ahead, Dave.
Tina had a question about the farmers about giving up their land for solar panels. Well, you got to realize the average age for a farm in the United States is 65 years. They're looking at these grain prices that aren't worth doing it. They're getting paid up to 12 or 14, 1,500 bucks an acre just to allow these solar fields out on their farms. And they get that check every year for 30 years. So it's hard. It's big money. It's guaranteed money. And it's hard for them to turn that down.
Right, right. Captain Graybeard said that the NOAA has officially changed the name to Gulf of America. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody would know, it would be Captain Graybeard. He is an actual captain, everybody. Trishy Poo, thank you for the tiny dinies. It's appreciated.
Martin Louis says he abolished the CHIPS Act. That would have made us self-sufficient. Martin, I would ask you, please, in the chat, tell me one thing about the CHIP Act that you know. Tell me that one thing about that CHIPS Act that you know and understand as far as line item, what title, what department is doing what. Have you read through the CHIPS Act? Because I think your opinion would change pretty quickly if you actually read through it.
Sarge said, is that taxpayer funds that pay for the farmers and the solar plant panels? I don't know where it's coming from, but if it's coming from the government, it's coming from the taxpayers. Now,
I think a large portion of the solar fields, I know that the wind energy was heavily subsidized, but I don't know how much of the solar was. I don't think it's as heavily subsidized. I think the energy companies that are putting them in, my nephew actually works in the solar fields. I'll do a little digging and get some answers for you.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's subsidized. We looked into have solar panels for our farm on an area that isn't cropland, just enough to support our land. They can do up to 110% of what we utilize, and we can sell back what we don't use during the summertime. I mean, that's the max time for bringing power in. And I think it was $50,000 to put everything in, and I think we were getting 25 to 30 back with subsidies.
Huh.
On it.
Martin said Intel was building a giant chip center and it's on hold. Yes, they were. And do you understand how heavily our government was subsidizing that, giving them our tax dollars, and there was no competitive pricing advantage as there will be in a tariff situation? And I'm quite sure that Intel will probably unfreeze that and continue the manufacturing and building of that building to be able to produce in the United States to avoid tariffs from creating them in other places. So we just have to be patient, brother. But the CHIPS Act, sir, it was not to help. Yeah, it was to help build chip centers, but you have to look at the way that those deals were structured in comparison to what Trump just did with the Taiwan chip manufacturer and them moving their chip factory here. Two night and day differences. The CHIPS Act was not worth the paper it was written on, my friend.
Right. Korak 1963 said globalists are destroying farmers, not Trump. Well, again, their long-term plan, meaning the nefarious players, going back decades, if not hundreds of years, was to create a one world government, one world industrial solution. And that all came to a screeching halt in 2016 when President Trump was elected. He's gone from having the majority of the globalists in control to removing those levers of power from those globalists and giving it back to the American people for the American, as far as the American economy. And in my opinion, that's what Xi Jinping is doing with China. That's what Putin is doing with Russia, as it should be. They should have their country's interest first, just like President Trump has America's interest first. The globalist agenda was to not have any. They wanted to control every country and have them. They wanted to be the people in control and in power to make the decisions, not only for the economy, but for agriculture, for water, for air, you name it. And that was part of the Paris Accords. You know, the taxing of carbon, which is ludicrous. You die without enough carbon in the atmosphere. It was all about generating money. What do you think, Alex?
I 100%. It's a scam. The carbon emissions, carbon dioxide, folks, simple biology. What do plants breathe?
Exactly. Captain Graybeard said that his family did a 30-year for 48 acres at $980 an acre per quarter. Huh. Interesting. I'm assuming that's for the solar panels.
For solar panels, yeah. A lot of guys are putting it on poor ground is the idea. You would think they could put it on big buildings, stuff like that, but it's an added cost. But yeah, it's something that a lot of farmers fight against, but at the average age of 65, there's a lot of guys doing that.
So when you say poor ground, what do you mean, Dave?
Hilly ground, yeah, not flat, not black, just ground that's okay to farm or not good to farm. And that's the idea behind that. But it's a lot of the farmers fight it too. But man, it's good money. But I couldn't do it.
The other side of that, Dave, and you can probably speak to this more than me, but reality is the days of the small farmers are coming to an end because you have these large conglomerates coming in, buying up tens of thousands of acres and employing people to drive the tractors. And most of the tractors drive themselves these days. And so small competitive farmers can't work in that competitive of an environment because those big conglomerates can deliver at a much cheaper price. If you look at what happened just in the pork industry and how they came in and standardized the way that the buildings were made so that they could sell it at 2 cents a pound versus 30 cents a pound that a local farmer could do it. Put everybody out of business. It's high time that the fair practices come back into the farming industry.
And
it's the same. Go ahead. It's the same way, Alex. The bigger farmers get a bigger discount because they buy more. It's same concept of Walmart, Sam's, all that. Same concept.
Right. Volume.
Yep.
So, and that leads a great segue into the Attorney General Andrew Bailey in where is he located? I just lost my Missouri. He won a historic $24 billion judgment against China for unleashing the pandemic, right? And that apparently what they're going to do is from what I understand, they're going to seize the farmland that China bought in Missouri so that they can, by utilizing this judgment that they received. Now, what would happen if that happens all over the country? All of a sudden, our farming goes from, I don't know what percentage it is right now, but it goes up exponentially if we can grab that property and bring it back under the farmers. What do you guys think?
He was actually speaking on a show, and I was listening into. You would think that it would be difficult for a state to sue another government, whatever, and it's actually not. And he spoke, and I don't remember exactly what it was, that there are specifically provisions in place for us to be able to do that and go after those assets. And it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. And I mean, it's much like the Pfizer lawsuit. It started with one state and now it's up to 8 or 9 states that are involved in that Pfizer lawsuit. So, it's going to be interesting to see how justice and liberty come in play over the course of the next 4 years.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
It says here, investors from other countries bought more than 1 million acres of farmland in the U.S. from 2022 through 2023. The foreign ownership of farmland is increasing in Ohio, where around 2,500 acres were snagged by overseas investors in the same period. So yeah, it's insane the amount of acres have taken over.
Right. And this is one classic way, I think, of being able to grab that land back. So everybody on TikTok, we got a lot of new people that have just followed. Please double tap that screen, share this live out. You can join as a subscriber on TikTok. If you want to contribute to our second daily donut goal, that would be wonderful. And if you're on YouTube, X, Facebook, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up or the positive affirmation button. And you can also send us a message on those other platforms if you have a question. Correct said, get them farms back. I agree. And I think we're in the process of that. Hey, Robin Keel's here, one of our subscribers. Hi, Robin. Good morning. Glad you can make it. She's saying hi to Trishy Poo. I butchered Trishy Poo's name earlier. Robin, maybe you can make an apology for me. Eli or A. Hubbard said, I think Minnesota just threw up a red flag. Apparently, end of previous admin bought a lot of land. Well, yeah, they've been allowing this to happen for a number of years. Oh, Trishy Poo, thank you for understanding. Sometimes these letters are kind of small, but it's hard to read. But thank you for understanding. So again, if we see other states follow suit with what Missouri's doing, I could see us acquiring a lot of that land back. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Martin, I'd like the source. Show me the source of where Trump offered anyone who could pay less restriction land with less restrictions.
So, as we all heard, the IRS has closed 120 offices right before tax day. They are now talking about getting rid of or firing half of their staff right before tax month, tax day. What do we think is actually happening there? Are we going to see the abolition of federal income tax? I believe we are. The question is, are we going to see it this year? What do you think, Alex?
I'm cautiously optimistic.
I know. Well, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that at the very least, it's interesting timing, right?
Very interesting timing. And I think that it's the slow roll of getting people thinking in a particular way about how government in general should be run, because status quo and the way it has been run for so long is all people have known for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And you start introducing these new ways of doing things. And because of TDS, everybody's like, Orange Man bad, his policies are bad, and what he's doing is going to kill the country. Well, what if it's not? What if it's actually going to put us back in line with the Constitution, back in line with some of the times when this country was the leader in the world in the Industrial Revolution and a completely tariff-backed economy? I mean...
Right. Which also begs the question in terms of the monetary system. It's all intertwined, you guys. The Hydra has been huge for decades, if not hundreds of years. It's going to take time to root out those nefarious entities, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in politics, whether it's in medicine. You know, we always talk about the industrial military complex. What about the industrial medical complex? We spent over $4 trillion on what we call healthcare in America last year. But what we call healthcare is not true healthcare. It's crisis care. And when that shift moves back to a more natural form of health and healing, we are going to see life expectancy go up. We're going to see the incidence of disease and sickness go down. We're going to see some pretty amazing things. At least that's how I see it playing out. But again, it doesn't happen over time. It takes time for those things to play out. So we have the SBA closing satellite offices in sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities looks like they're getting highlighted again. Oh, and you know what else is interesting? We've got Andrew Cuomo coming back into the narrative. We have John Podesta coming back into the narrative. And if you talk about that other board that we discuss on a regular basis, both of those were prominent figures, not to mention the sanctuary cities. Is it all being brought up again for a specific reason? If so, what is that reason? What do you think, Alex?
I believe that everything has a time, and again, we're slow rolling the narratives out for people to start thinking about things differently.
Right. Exactly. And I know I belabor this point, but I think it's important for people to understand that it takes time. It takes time for the American consciousness to wake up and understand that so much of what they've believed for years, decades, hundreds of years is not correct. They've been lied to. We've been lied to. And people like us on this show, we may be quite ahead of the curve, but there are millions of people, in America specifically, billions of people around the world who are just starting to wake up and figure out some of these things that we've been talking about for years. And again, like Captain Graybeard said, you know, when you change the direction on a cruise ship, it takes miles for that direction to have an effect. And I think that's part of what we're doing with the consciousness of America. Joe Biles said, no income tax, who pays for infrastructure? Well, again, that will be tariff based. We'll be charging other countries to sell their goods and services here and support our economy as it should be.
Some of the longest and widest highways in this nation were built underneath a tariff-backed economy. The railroad system was built underneath a tariff-backed economy. Do a little research, look back in history, understand the economics of what a tariff-based economy looks like versus the taxation and creation of money with interest attached to the money that's being created that will never pay back, which builds an endless debt society that we can never recover from. Like it's be patient. It'll come clear.
Right. And with all of this money that we are uncovering has been sent to foreign entities and then filtering back to America, we wonder why Social Security has had problems. We wonder why Medicare or Medicaid has had problems, because the amount of money being sent offshore for nefarious deeds and activities was unchecked. All of that is changing now. And even President Trump came out and said, Elon's doing a great job. And we're going to find out what that money that was being sent all over the world was coming back to the individuals who made the deals. That's called accountability. This is the exposure process. We are in the exposure phase. We are beginning the justice phase. It's just getting started now. So everybody on TikTok, if you would, double tap that screen, share this live out. Join us as a subscriber. We'd love to have you. And if you can contribute to our second Donut Daily Goal, that would be wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about the stock market, you guys. In the Daily Dispatch this morning, I talked about the $124 trillion global stock market. Now, again, the biggest portion of that is the United States, right? At $60 trillion, representing over 6,000 corporations here in America. And as I've been saying, I believe that we are going to see a significant adjustment. This is not financial advice. These are just my opinions, but I think we're going to see a significant adjustment to the stock market. Now, whether that's tomorrow, today, or a year from now, I have no idea. But where are we at today so far, Alex? Where's it at now?
Currently, we're sitting at the S&P 500 is down 2%, Dow is down 1%, NASDAQ is down 3%.
Okay. So Rich said, does anybody, can we get that money back? That was Quincy 1991. Yes, we will get the money back. Once they identify the nefarious funds that were sent out, everything is trackable. I don't care how you hide it, everything is trackable. And once they figure that out and roll it out, fraud vitiates everything. What does that mean? That means that as we move forward in this process, when fraud is going to be, when it's revealed and discovered, the people that took that money, it will come back to us. And we're talking, in my opinion, trillions of dollars over the last, I don't know, 4 or 5, probably since 1913 when the Fed was created. We're talking about trillions of dollars. And then President Trump came out over the weekend on Fox News, and he said, quote, "We're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, you just watch." And President Trump doesn't shoot from the hip. My experience has been promises made, promises kept. And for him to highlight that and say how much money is going to be coming in and how much is coming to us, if you guys go to the debtclock.org, Alex, will you pull that up? And down at the bottom, tell me what it says under individuals in terms of the hidden wealth. We have, let me do a little house cleaning here. We have Nurse Kim, 212, sent a rose and a lightning bolt. Thank you, Nurse Kim. It's appreciated.
Currently climbing today, total hidden wealth. And so everybody understands what the total hidden wealth is. National assets, including precious metal reserves, mineral reserves, real estate, land value, stock market worth, new energy, and recaptured assets, is currently sitting at 168 trillion.
Wow. Recaptured wealth. And then to the right of that, where it says the individual wealth of each American.
So wealth per citizen, the wealth per citizen equals the total national assets divided by the number of U.S. citizens. That's 493,196.
Could you imagine, you guys, if we had access to 493,000 extra dollars?
I put it in crypto.
Yeah, exactly. Or what if we only got 10% of that? $40,000.
I put it in crypto.
Exactly.
Not financial advice. You can buy it at the TikTok shop.
Right. Cicely Love 99 said, "Make America great again. Thanks, Trump." Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Teresa Faria said, "I can pay my house off with that kind of money." Oh my God. Well, it's coming, Teresa. I think we are looking at, as President Trump calls it, the golden age. He doesn't shoot from the hip. He doesn't say things that he cannot back up. It's happening as we speak. We may not see the end result of it yet, but it's coming.
I'll be right back, brother.
Okay. Cheryl Sparkles is here. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for the heart me. Janet sent a heart me. Thank you, Janet. It's appreciated. Hey, subscriber Daddy D's here. Hey, Daddy. He said he could finally buy a house. Yeah, exactly. And I think we're going to be seeing the dispersion of these funds that have been taken from us without us even knowing about it. We're going to see the exposure of it. We're going to see it clawed back. We're going to see the standard of living in America rise to a point that people just don't understand at this point. It's the whole cognitive dissonance thing. People have been conditioned to believe things that just aren't true. Now we're going to see that happen in a way that is going to blow people's minds. Darcy May sent some roses. Thank you, Darcy May. Nurse Kim 1212 sent a heart me. Thank you so much. Janet, it is going to be awesome, and it is happening as we speak. You don't think that Elon and the team are exposing all this just for laughs and giggles? No, they're doing it because they're going to bring it back to where it should be, where it was taken from in the beginning, which is the American taxpayer. Janet just sent a rose. Thank you, Janet, and a heart finger thing. Thanks, Janet. It's appreciated. Bambi Killer 69 said, "Stop the chemtrails first." Well, I think that's part of what RFK Jr. is doing, Bambi. I think that, again, it takes time. He's been in office now, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? It's going to take a little time for those things to happen. And I would look at it maybe from a different perspective too. maybe the chemtrails, the nefarious parts of those chemtrails have already been dealt with. And the reason that they're leaving the residue up there is so that they can, draw people's attention to it. Just like Andrew Cuomo coming back into the narrative, just like John Podesta coming back into the narrative. I think all of these things are being dealt with. Dave, where did you made a set change on us?
That's right. I had to go down to, we're loading semis, so I needed to get down to our Bend site quick and then come back on while I can.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No big deal.
So just for those that are looking to dig a little further into what a tariff-based economy looks like, is everybody familiar with the UAE, United Emirates Arab Nations, right? Tariffs, folks. Oil money and tariffs. Look at those cities. Look at the poverty line. Look at all of the things that happen and why they happen that way, and what builds out their infrastructure, what builds an entire freaking island of houses out in the ocean where they have to excavate and bring in soil to build a palm tree island setting in the middle of the desert. Like, I don't think people have done their homework on what a tariff-based economy looks like, and having the sovereign wealth fund and what that goes towards and what it does for each and every single person. I mean, if you look at people that live in Alaska, if you're a resident of Alaska gives you money every year for being a resident based off of the revenue that state generates in the oil industry.
Right. Exactly. Let me do a little house cleaning here, guys. Serenity sent a rose. Thank you. Janet sent a rose. Darcy May sent a hand heart. Thank you. Nurse Kim sent I don't know what that was, but it was beautiful, Nurse Kim. Thank you for sending that. Kathy Riley Wensky said, stand with Trump. Well, I think most of the people on this podcast stand with Trump. If I was to make a guess. Rich said Podesta equals mad evil. Yeah. Oh yeah. When that information comes out and is put out to the public, people are going to be shocked. Not just him, but the Hillary Clintons of the world, the Bill Gates of the world, all of those different people are going to be highlighted in such a way where I think the term is they won't be able to walk down the street. Exactly. Sarge just sent a bunch of roses and some lightning bolts. Thank you, Sarge. It's appreciated. All right, guys. So we have, so in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we have seen NORAD dispatch F-16 fighters in Florida over Mar-a-Lago. What do you guys think? Is this an overt attempt to harm President Trump? What do you think?
I think some of it was just sightseers that got too close. I don't know the full story on all instances, but I mean, when you're a disruptor like he is, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that there are other places in the world that really are not happy about what's happening. I saw an article on Kash Patel, the leader of the FBI, has put in requests to get his own private security detail instead of that makes sense. Like, well, you have to get your own security because you can't trust what the government's gonna protect you with. Like, that's a scary prop, folks.
Well, and that's what Trump did after Pennsylvania, I believe, correct?
He still uses Secret Service, but I think it got turned upside down.
Yeah, I think he had an overview committee to follow it and make sure procedures and stuff were in place.
I can't wait till the reports are released about what he's been talking about specifically around the attempts. That's going to be. Let's hope it's full disclosure.
Is he supposed to be making a statement about that?
Yes.
Supposed to be releasing the reports. Yeah. I mean, there's cell phones that were associated with one of the attempts that are still pinging. That's an interesting data point.
What was that again?
There are cell phones that were associated with one of the attempts that are still pinging. Like, wow. The towers are able to ping it.
Wow.
That's that's a pretty interesting little data point.
Right. I agree. Post-pandemic blonde said, can't wait. Well, it's happening as we speak. We may not see it happening today, but behind the scenes, it's very obvious that the exposure is taking place. So we've got a lot of new followers in here today, everybody. If you're new to this channel, hit the follow button. If you want to be inside of our insider circle with subscriptions, you can do that on TikTok. You can also contribute to our daily goal. It supports this channel. Excuse me. If you're on X, YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up with the positive affirmation button and send us a message if you have a question.
Looks like X, Microsoft, AWS, Outlook, Spectrum, AT&T, T-Mobile, Instagram, OpenAI, YouTube, Google, Reddit. Lots of ticks up on the reports of having connectivity issues.
Really? Will you repeat those one more time, Alex?
If you go to Down Detector, DOWN detector.com, you can get real-time updates. And if you look at X, it's the first one at the top. Twitter, X, pretty much has a pretty significant spike. So does Microsoft Outlook and AWS, as well as AT&T.
Interesting. And we're seeing a downturn in the stock market today. I wonder if they're related somehow. Hey, Rhonda's here. Good morning, Rhonda. Glad you could make it.
What's your guys' opinions on? I believe it's AdBlue, right? Is that what it is? The
ActBlue.
ActBlue. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's my opinion on it? It's another piggy bank for people to funnel money through to seem like a legitimate, for good organization, and not so for good is it when you start digging into the numbers. Back during BLM, if you went to the BLM website and clicked donate, it would redirect you to ActBlue.
Correct.
We all know about the founder and the issues that person is having. So
Right. And not just ActBlue. What about all the NGOs out there, the non-governmental organizations? Money's been funneling from them into the Democrat and the left side. So when all that gets exposed, we're talking about billions of dollars. When those people that are responsible for it get highlighted, I mean, what was that old saying again? They won't be able to walk down the street, I think is the term. I think I'm seeing it happening now.
Raul Medina says under Joe Biden, the world was stable. Bro.
Come on. That's just not accurate. Yeah, that's just not accurate. Robin, thank you for the donut. Hey, Coach B's here. Hey, Coach, glad you could make it. Susan just sent a goat. Ooh, thank you, Susan. It's appreciated. John Smith, 8130 said, big drop in stocks. Yeah, we've been kind of monitoring that while we've been on, John. And also, Alex was able to find that there are a lot of technology companies that are experiencing issues today, X being one of them. And is it related to what's going on with the stock market? Is there more going on behind the scenes that we know of? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but at the very least, something is going on. Let's see. We have Rhonda said, "You laugh out loud. Your trolls are crazy today." Well, you know what? That's going to happen, Rhonda. I know. Just ignore them. We'll the ones that present a question that is politely asked and has some substance to it. We're all about trying to answer those questions because what we're trying to do here is reach people. So I know it can be annoying. Just ignore it if it bothers you. But we're at the very least, we've got a lot of new people in here today. And if you're on TikTok, hit the follow button. You can subscribe to this channel. You can contribute to our daily goal, or you can just hang out and put some messages in the chat, and we'll get to as many as we can. We have Sarge said AOC in 2028. That would be awesome. She would lose so bad. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Okay, so we got AOC supposedly running. We have what's her name? Harris God, I'm drawing a blank on her first name. Kamala Harris. To supposedly
forgot about her.
Yeah, and with probably with good reason. But Kamala talking about running for governor in California. I mean, people believe that California is blue. Well, the reality is, unless there is significant interaction with the voting systems, there's no way in heck Kamala is going to get the governorship in California. I would almost like to see it happen, have her run for it, just because Chad, the sheriff over in Riverside, he's talking about it, and so is Rich Grinnell. I mean, Rich Grinnell is a pretty tough cookie. I would love to see him come in here and straighten out California. I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm not in California. I'm paying attention to my own psycho Dem governor here. So, I have no comments, sir.
Okay.
I wake up smiling every day. I got a Republican governor with a $1.82 billion surplus. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Exactly. But, I think it's important that California, New York get straightened out. I mean, we're talking about, I don't even know what the population of California is anymore. 30 million, 40 million.
43 million, I believe.
That's a big number when it comes to the United States of America. That's a big number. And I personally believe that we have got to straighten out. California is the fifth largest economy in the world? Fifth or sixth or something like that. Alex, will you pull that up, see if you can figure out what it is? It's way up there.
I think Texas is 8th, I believe, in the world.
Texas is 8th?
Yeah.
Well, California's got to be bigger than that, right?
Yeah, it is bigger than that, yeah.
I don't know if it is based off of the oil money that's in Texas, but give me just a minute.
Okay, yeah, take a look and see. Scotty Too Hottie. Hey, Scotty's here. He said, hell no, California's red and we stay red. I agree. We are way more red than people realize. Rhonda just sent a whole bunch of donuts. Thank you, Rhonda. June 2024 sent a heart me. Maddie sent roses and corn. Oh, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. THX1138 said, yeah, try New Jersey. They're the worst. Yeah, I don't know a lot about New Jersey, but I've heard there is some significant happenings going on there.
You're right, Sam. List of 50 states ranked by GDP in U.S. dollars. California, $3 billion. Texas, 1.7. New York, 1.7. Florida, 1.1. And so on. So,
yeah. I wonder it used to be California was the 5th largest economy in the world. Now, I don't know if that's still the case or not.
I don't know. With the big tech, you're right, though. Just look at the amount of money that pours into big tech. So
right, exactly. And with AI ramping up the way it is, it's probably just going to get bigger. So we can't
afford to keep water in the reservoirs.
Well, when President Trump came out here and said, "Look, you can have the federal funds. You turn on the water and you get voter ID." Guess what happened? They turned on the water, and I think voter ID is coming. Susie just sent some roses. Thank you so much, Susie. Sarge said, I've lived in several Dem states. I love it in Texas. Yeah, I think Texas is a great place. I've visited.
As long as you're not in Austin.
Yeah, Austin. Yeah, oh God, dude. My first experience in Austin, I owned a technology company, and I would travel to different states to interact with my buyers. And back then, the big contract manufacturers like Selectron, they were one of my customers. So they had a huge manufacturing plant in Austin, Texas. And so I'd take the buyers out, wine them and dine them and all that. And it was my first experience on 6th Street in Austin. And we walk into a restaurant, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Well, when we left that restaurant, I came out, I was shocked. The street was closed down and it was a sea of people. And it looked like California. I was shocked. But that was my first experience with it. June, thank you for the friendship bracelet. It's appreciated. But yeah, you're right. Austin, Texas, pretty liberal from what I understand. Have you guys ever been there? Hey, we got a Maddie just sent a sombrero. Thank you, Maddie, or whatever that was.
We've got one in Iowa. The Iowa City is where the University of Iowa is at. It's just as bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I treat that and Illinois the same. I just try to stay out of it.
Yeah, I have, believe it or not, I've never been to Iowa. When we went on that motorhome trip all over the country, we hit, I think it was 32 states. I think maybe we drove through Iowa. I don't remember now, but I didn't spend any amount of time there. But one of the things on that motorhome trip that I thought was really interesting, we had a choice where we were going to go spend a month in Europe. I had just sold a company and I wasn't sure what I was going to do next. We were going to go spend a month in Europe, and my ex-wife says, "Now, let's spend some time here in America." And that's when we got the motorhome and we traveled all over. And we discovered places that just blew my mind. And one of those places was in Wisconsin. It was called the Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
My kids were young at that time. It was like a kid's wonderland when it came to water parks and those big fan boats. I don't know what you call them.
Duck boats.
Yeah.
Duck boats. Army duck boats. Yeah.
Man. So, I mean, I was just shocked by how much there is to see here in America. I'm so grateful that we were able to do that. Hey, Painterman's here. He said he's been there and he rode the ducks. Exactly. And for a guy from California who didn't spend much time outside of California prior to that, man, it opened my eyes. When we went to Boston and when we went to New York, we could not pull the coach and the car into New York. It's just, you can't do it. I mean, maybe you could, but we didn't. We pulled into a place called Liberty Harbor in New Jersey, and we parked the coach and the car there. And then we would just go in and out on the subway to New York City and what have you. And me coming from California, Los Angeles specifically, and getting into New York, I had this vision in my mind that, people were going to try and, rob me on the subway. I was traveling on the subway 2 a.m. and people were kind as could be. I was shocked. I didn't expect that. So we've got a lot of new people in here today, everybody, on TikTok. If you're new to this channel, hit the follow button. You can subscribe to this channel, be part of our inner circle. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of fun stuff. And you can also contribute to our daily goal of donuts. This is our second round, and we're doing well. Thank you so much. If you're on YouTube, X, Facebook, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up or the positive affirmation button. It's appreciated. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we've covered pretty much all of the news. What do you guys think? Should we wrap it up?
Absolutely.
All right, Dave, final thoughts?
Just keep your head on swivel like you guys always say. I appreciate you guys allowing me to be a part of this. It's going to be fun. Future's bright for sure. So we're all excited.
Amen. Amen. Alex?
Future's so bright, I got to wear shades.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So everybody, thank you for being here. We're doing these lives every day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes, yeah, there you go, Dave. Love it. Love it. Thank you for contributing to our goals. Thank you for being part of this. Dave, Alex, have a wonderful day. There, Alex has got his now, too.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good day.
Quite frankly, this live was huge. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks, Alex.
Not tired.
She's always going to keep